Friends and followers, welcome back to my channel and greetings from home. I hope y'all are doing well out there. And yes, I am rubbing my eyes because I have a bad case of cedar fever right now. On this episode of Truckin' It, we're going to be talking about the East Coast snowstorm. And I also have a little rant at the end. So, well, let's get started and let's do this. Okay, friends and followers, welcome back to my channel, to another episode of Truckin' It. I'm Zach, your crazy, stupid host. Crazy in the sense that I got to drive in that storm system that many of y'all were told to shut down for. Starting in Fort Worth, Texas on Thursday night, the dust was so thick you could almost slice it with a butter knife, for lack of a better word. The wind was gusting to nearly 60 miles per hour. The back trailer was leaning and swaying, even with almost 10,000 pounds in the box. I had to restrict my speed. I had plenty of guys with much heavier loads that were blowing my doors off, and I was totally okay with that. Because here's the thing with trucking. Every truck has its own unique personality, and when the weather turns bad or the road turns rough, that personality changes. Some guys are comfortable handling a truck with a 40,000 pound load and 50 mile per hour crosswind. Me personally, my loads are a lot lighter. And I'm pulling 2 trailers instead of just 1. So, getting through the crosswind was the first challenge. Then I got to Sulphur Springs where the wind calmed down and I was able to drive out of the system and continue on at full speed into Arkansas. And then once my co-driver took over, he got us the rest of the way to Tennessee and Virginia. And we got our load swapped out. I got back in the driver's seat. Eat there. After my big 10-hour break in the sleeper. So, I started driving out of Virginia on Friday night. Got into Tennessee. Tennessee was all good all the way down 75 and then on to 24 and 59. And I got to the Georgia-Tennessee line. That's when things started to deteriorate. First, I started having heavy downpours and thunderstorms, some with super strong wind. And I kind of figured that was going to happen, so I took my time through there, got into Alabama, took my 30-minute break at the Love's Travel Stop in Gadsden. Howdy to those people who had some snacks and some stuff on hand that I was able to get. And then I got out of Gadsden, got down to Tuscaloosa. And that's when things started getting really bad. Snow, ice, freezing rain. The weather was just running the gamut down there. And I managed to get to the Love's that is about 30 minutes away from Jackson, Mississippi. And got pulled in there, swapped with my co-driver. He got us the rest of the way home. I was fortunate because I had just beat the system by maybe a couple hours. Some of y'all who were driving in Tennessee, Virginia, and that same area that I had passed through weren't so lucky. And thank you to Tennessee State Highway Patrol and to the Asian My Show for sharing some video on their Asian My's channel earlier, showing state troopers actually pushing vehicles up the mountains and in the Knoxville area. Because without them, those big rigs wouldn't be getting back on the road and moving. Another thing, I almost had to sling iron myself. And by almost, I mean, if the conditions had deteriorated any worse than what they were, I would have been having to throw change in order to get out. And, man, that sucks when that happens. So, like I said, I'm home safe right now, getting ready for my next trip out. And I hope that y'all stay safe. Now, let's get on to the rant. If you're going to comment about my appearance, don't mention health conditions with it, because I'm going to give you an earful about what I've been putting up with all my life. No excuses, no holds barred, and you're not going to like what I say. Especially if you are the user, Scotty Secretly Loves Chryslers, who had responded to one of my comments on Lewis Rossman's YouTube channel in regards to a video about right to repair. Okay. I believe that planned obsolescence is real, and that sometimes Chrysler products suck at that. I grew up with one of the older Chrysler products in the driveway for a couple years, specifically the Plymouth Reliant K car. Okay? That car was just horrible. I mean, the seats were made from something that's now called ultra leather. It's actually vinyl, and it's slippery as shit. The radio didn't even have a cassette player because it was that cheap, nor did it have a digital tuner. And after just a couple years, the car completely fell apart. The spare tire, well, the trunk started caving in, the floorboard rotted out, and my mom got smart. When she was starting to see those problems, she decided to trade it in for something that was much higher quality. And vowed never to, and passed it down to her son, never to trust a Chrysler product. Okay, well, I saw your comment. Here's what the comment said. You shouldn't be talking about what other people put in their driveways. You should instead focus on taking care of yourself because you look ugly and you don't want diabetes. Okay. And yes, I am using a high-pitched squealy voice because obviously this comment was very wussy from him. Alright. Let me explain something to you. You haven't had diabetes. Okay? Or else you're one of these so-called health nuts that forgets that there's this little factor called your mom and your dad who pass stuff down without even knowing it. Okay? And then there's a little other word for it. Genetics. My genes have been messed up since childhood, and that's both my blue genes and the genes inside my body. Okay? I was diagnosed with autism when I was 3. I was diagnosed with diabetes just 5 years ago. Okay? And I had a lot of stuff wrong with me between those 2 points. And still do. I've managed to put up with this for all this time. Because, number one, stuff to diagnose diabetes didn't even properly exist back in 1987. So they wouldn't have been able to trace if I had diabetes or not alongside my autism. Okay? Number 2. Is that I've got the trait that causes celiac disease also. And that was found out just a little bit ago through my 23andMe app, where I had paid for genetic testing and they found stuff in my genes that is not good. So, well, since I've had to put up with this stuff all my life, I'm looking at hanging up the keys in a couple years. Even if I pass my physical, which is coming up a week from Wednesday. And yes, I have to get 2, sometimes 3 physicals a year. I have to see my doctor pretty often. Because I've got not only the base root cause of the genetic issues, but I've got all their side effects. I've got the diabetes, the sleep apnea, the obesity, inability to lose weight, frequent fatigue. And all of that was traced down to my genetics as of last year. So, I am going to have to change my lifestyle at some point. And that means getting out of the truck. I'm deciding when to hang up the keys pretty soon here. And I need your help doing that. So, I need y'all to go on to truckersxfanshop.com and order your t-shirts, tumblers, and tote bags that say keep on trucking it. To give yourself some motivation. And to help me support the growth of this YouTube channel so that I can get off of the truck and into a much more relaxed environment sooner. By the way, I'm having a little financial crisis too, so I'm reaching out to my subscribers for some help. If y'all could just order some stuff from the fan shop, that would be great. If not, then I am in the process of getting Patreon set up. I'll let y'all know when that occurs. I've got the account right now, but I just got to get some followers and some stuff set up on there. And I need y'all to do me a big favor, because my 38th birthday is just around the corner. For those of y'all who are not subscribed yet, the challenge is to get 1,000 subscribers by February 1st. And right now, we are way short of that with just 51. So, hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and share with your friends so you don't miss another video. Until next time, keep on trucking it. May your best trip be your next trip. Keep on learning, keep thinking, and keep on trucking. Bye for now.